have a story. The first time I've ever gotten in an argument with a man in an aeroplane happened this trip. And I'm gonna tell you all about it. I'm gonna tell you about how I was a knight in shining armor. Ooh. Not really, but I'll tell you about an argument I had with a very annoying man who I hope has a bad day. I hope he has a bad day, dogs. I hope he's got a terrible day. He deserves a bad day. Okay, so I took the aeroplane from about 10 p.m. So it was close to night, right? It was close to the night. So what's normal is that you get on the flight, they turn off the lights, and then they let you sleep, right? And when you sleep on an airplane, what do? Well, you lean your chair back. Everyone leans their chair back. And what is the result of everyone leaning their chair back? Well, people in front of you also lean their chair back, and that's just part of it. But, you know, the airplane seats are angled in such a way where, you know, them leaning their chair back doesn't necessarily obstruct your view, even if you're watching a movie or something. It shouldn't really be an issue, right? So I was trying to lean my chair back, and I noticed that I couldn't. For some strange reason, my seat appeared to be somewhat broken. And I kept trying to lean my chair back, and it wouldn't budge. It would not move back. So I sort of gave up. I sort of gave up on leaning my chair back. But then a lovely lady was sitting next to me, and I noticed she was having the same problem. She was having the exact same problem as me. So I looked behind her seat, because obviously I couldn't look behind my own seat, so I looked behind her seat. And what did I see? I saw a big man, kind of like I saw like a big man sitting there with his legs like up against her seat. And that was the moment when I was like I kind of whispered to her, like, hey, like, the reason you can't lean back is because the guy behind you is like, he's using his legs to push against your seat. And so she looked at me, and I was like, okay. So I looked back at the man, the big man, and he looked like a very annoying person, not gonna lie. Like, maybe that's just me remembering that way, but no, he looked like a very annoying person. You know those kind of like nerdy guys who, you know, the bearded nerdy guy with the black rimmed glasses? You know, those kind of guys? He looked like a man-child, that's what I'm trying to say. He looked a little bit like a man-child, not gonna lie. So I moved to him. He looked like a guy who had a Reddit account, okay? And I have a Reddit account, so I'm allowed to talk shit about Reddit. But he looked like a man with a Reddit. Yeah, obscenely punchable face. Definitely. Very, very punchable face. He looked like a man with a Reddit. So I tried to talk to him. And, I said, sir, could you put your legs down? Because the lady is trying to, you know, she's trying to lean back her chair. And you know what he did, Dog Army? He looked at me and then just shook his head. I was like, excuse me? Hold on, let me kill these guys. So I talked to the guy, and, you know, the young lady next to me, she wanted to lean her chair back. It was nice. And, you know, she said, like, what's he saying? And he said no. And then she looked at me like, huh? He said no? Because, like, what? Like, that's such a weird, like, what? Just no? So I tried to ask him again. I'm sorry, sir. Like, could you please lean your you know, put your legs down, because the lady, she's trying to like lean back. And he shook his head again, and he said no, because her chair is moving too much into my space. It's like, your fucking space? What do you mean, your space? We're on an airplane together. We're fucking, like, we're fucking going through the sky together in an airplane. This isn't your space. Who do you think you are? So I just looked at him again, and I was like, but your chair's leaned back. His chair was leaned all the way back, but like, oh, this lady's not allowed to have her chair. So I'm like getting upset on this like random lady's behalf. I'm getting upset on her behalf, because I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. You're being rude. You're being a dickhead. So I was like, no, like you're supposed to be allowed to lean back. It's nighttime. Your chair is leaned all the way back. And then he looks at me, and he just like, you know, like, but while frowning, he just looks at me. No, he wasn't frowning. His eyebrows were like neutral, but he did that like fish mouth thing where you move your mouth down, you know, like when you're frowning your mouth. And then he like shook his head again. Like, it annoyed me because he didn't have a frown, you know? His eyebrows weren't frowning, so it was just pure childish entitlement. He had like no emotions about it, just pure childlike entitlement on this grown-ass man who was probably a bit older than me. And I'm like, you fucking weirdo. Like, what? No. No, she's not allowed to lean back. She's supposed to sit upright for fucking 14 hours that this airplane ride is gonna take. She's supposed to. So I told the lady, like, he's refusing. And the lady then, like, moved and looked at him again. She like moved her chair around and, sorry sir, could you please lean down, because I want to sleep. I really want to sleep. She was like trying to be a bit sympathetic with him, right? This lady, who was, you know, a younger lady, poor lady, like traveling alone, and this fucking idiot being like a dickhead to her. So, you know what he says? He said, no, you can call the staff if you want. It's going too much into my space. And so I was like, okay, I will then. So I got up from my seat, but the lady was like, no, please, it's okay. You can get down. Like, it's fine. I'll go. So I'm like, okay. Like, I shouldn't push too much. Like, this is, you know, maybe she wants to handle it in her way. She doesn't want to start an argument. I understand. So I let her go do it, and she went and talked to the staff. She came back, and then the staff came over, and it was a lovely lady, a stewardess, a lady. Yeah, it was an airplane stewardess. She came over and she started talking to the guy, and she was like, "Sorry, sir, could you please move your legs down, because the young lady, she wants to sleep. She wants to lean back." And he was like, No, because it's moving too much into my space. And she's like, no, listen, it's not going to touch your legs. You just lean back and she leans back, and there's plenty of room for everyone. No. And he just kept arguing, but he kept arguing in a language I couldn't quite understand. So, but I could understand from context clues. He kept arguing with her. It took like a minute or two, like a few minutes of her just like insisting that he has to remove his legs. And she wasn't like, and she kept insisting that he should move his legs, and kept trying to reason with him. And the goddamn man-child, he just refused to move his bloody legs. He was sitting with his knees up against this young lady's chair. He was sitting with his knees up against her chair, refusing to move his knees. And it just, it made me more and more annoyed. It made me more and more annoyed. It's like, he was so sure he was in the right. And so when the lady like came and tried to talk to him, he clearly realized that he was not in the right, but then he wasn't like backing down, you know? He wasn't backing down. So the lady, at some point, she gave up. So the lady left. Now, I was like trying not to, so I was just, you know what, she's probably gonna come back or something. Maybe he asked for a different seat or something like that. At one point, she walked over to the business class cabin, and she opened the sheets and was like looking in, and I was like, please don't fucking give him a business class seat because he's being a fucking child. Give the young lady a business class seat. Please do not I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna make big trouble if this fucking idiot gets a business class seat for free because he fucking needs fucking like all his space. He needs more space. Fuck off. No, the young lady gets a business class seat, not him. I was already planning what I was gonna say if that fucking idiot, like, and all this time, by the way, Dogami, all this time I had forgotten the fact that I couldn't lean my chair back either. You want to know why I couldn't lean my chair back? Because the man-child's girlfriend, whom I will now call the woman-child, was doing the same thing to my seat. She was pushing her knees against my seat. And meanwhile, I think she gave up because after this whole thing, I was able to lean my seat back. And I think it's because I'm a I'm a Scandinavian man, so I'm trying to lean my seat back. So I'm like, I'm just like I'm like fucking trying to force it, and I'm just thinking this poor little woman child desperately trying to push against me while I'm like full force forcing the seat back. I didn't realize that she was like I didn't even realize that there was a possibility that there was a woman child behind me pushing against my seat. So I was just like forcefully bending the seat down. Full dog brain, full force. I was with full dog force, just like fucking bending the seat back while I thought I didn't realize. So I actually got my way just by like fucking forcing it through. So that's why, okay? It's because the fucking woman child had been pushing against my seat. But anyway, so I only found out she was a thing when the lady stewardess was trying to argue with the man-child, trying to explain it to the man-child, and she was like taking his side. She was like, no, the young lady should not be allowed to lean back because my boyfriend needs his space. It's like, fuck off, woman. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Zero empathy? Zero empathy. That's what we're doing. We're doing fucking no empathy here. Okay, no, I got it. I understand. We're not doing any empathy here. No fucking empathy. Okay, no, I got it. I get it. Yeah. So anyway, the lady stopped trying to argue with them, and she was like walking around the airplane cabin looking for something. I thought she was looking for another seat for him. Or something, or another seat for the young lady, or some sort of solution. I thought she was doing, because she gave up arguing with him. But that's not what she was doing. So, about 5 minutes pass, and then I see a big male steward along with another big male steward fucking both walk up along with the female stewardess to the fucking man-child. She brought the biggest fucking man on the plane to fucking force this idiot to stop pushing against the goddamn seat. And so the male steward, it was like a very clean cut, very big man, you know, very tall, like proper manly man. He sat down and was like really trying to reason with this guy. He kept talking to him very calmly, wasn't losing his cool. You have to lean the seat down. No, she has to be allowed to lean the seat down. Like explaining to him over and over again that this is just how airplanes work. You're supposed to be allowed to lean your seat down. This is just how it works. You're supposed to be allowed to. No, sir, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna touch your legs. She's allowed to lean her seat down, just like fucking going through it a million times over and over and over again. See, this is where the female stewardess, she like kind of backed down a little bit at this point. Because I can imagine, like, it's not fun talking to a man who's just like refusing to listen to you, right? But the male stewards, they were not fucking giving up. And I love that the main guy was like the one actually talking to the guy. And then there was a second male steward just standing with his arms crossed behind him. Like he was ready to throw down if this became an issue. If this became a problem. He was ready. He was fucking ready. And the moment those two, like, came like walking in, came marching in. The moment those two stewards came marching in, you know what I did, Dog Army? I like very subtly just removed my headset and paused my movie. I was watching Murder on the Orient Express. I was like, this is now my Murder on the Orient Express. It's this situation. I'm like an energy vampire. I need this fucking guy to get taught a lesson. I need this man to be taught a lesson now. That is now my Murder on the Orient Express. This fucking guy getting taught a lesson. So I was just fully locked in. I was like enjoying it. I was absorbing the energy of this guy just being, ooh, painfully proven wrong that he's not allowed to do that. He was so fucking sure that he was allowed to do that bullshit, that he told both me and the young lady to call the staff. He was so fucking sure. He was 120% sure that he must be in the right, and oh, he was painfully in the wrong. He was I was so fucking ready. I was like, oh yes, please. The moment I saw those two come up, I was like, oh yes, please. This is now my movie, and I hope it lasts a while. I need to see this play out. Please fucking try some bullshit, sir. Please fucking do some shit. Please refuse. Refuse as long as you can. They're not backing. I could see it on them. They're not backing down, those two. And no matter how much he tried to argue, no matter how much the woman child, his girlfriend, was trying to argue, the stewards wouldn't back down. They just kept calmly explaining, no, sir, you're supposed to be a blah, 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 blah. And then, finally, he was like, oh, and then put his legs down, like, loudly. I could hear a thump. Like a thump. His legs finally went down, and the man went like, madam, you can lean your seat now. And I was like, thank you, sir. And I said, I was such a little bitch about it too, because I said, thank you so much, sir. Like, loud, not super loudly, but loudly enough that the man-child could hear it in the back. I was like, I need to thank this man a little bit loudly. I need to like, yes. Thank you so much. I was like really rubbing it on thick. I was like, yeah, fuck you, prick. Yeah, that's right, you were wrong. Of course I'm not facing him. I'm not looking at him. I'm not talking to him. But I am definitely thanking the male steward in a voice loud enough that the man can hear. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'm stirring the pot. Fuck him. Fuck that bitch. Fuck him. No. Fucking a little young lady. She can't lean back because you, big fucking man, you have to have your space. Fuck off. You fucking prick. No. No. He gets to have that humiliation. He deserves that humiliation. He does. Fuck that guy. I'm sorry. I was a little bit of a crusader in that moment, okay, dogs? I was a little bit of a crusader in that moment. I was like, fuck this fucking guy. No. That's not okay. That's not okay. You can't act like a fucking child when you're a grown-ass man with a fucking full beard. You can't do that. Hell no. Hell no. Fuck you. So it's like taking so much satisfaction in him getting proven wrong and having to put his legs down. But then, Dog Army, the story's not over yet. I was thanking the man, and then he was like speaking loudly to the steward. They were speaking language I couldn't understand. So he was speaking loudly to the steward, and like clearly he was complaining about something else now. So the steward turned to me and said, and like kind of with low voice, very politely said, sir, I was told that there had been an argument. And I was like, no argument. No, all we did was, ask him to put down his seat. And he wouldn't put down the seat for the lady. So I asked him, I told him that, people are supposed to be able to sleep. And then he told me to call staff. I got up to try and call the staff. And the young lady went to go call the staff instead of me. And that's all that happened. I didn't speak to him after that. And then he said like, oh, okay. If there's an argument, please talk to us. We will settle it. Don't argue amongst you, sir. And I said, no, sir, I would never do that. I'm not here to cause trouble. Of course not. But then the fucking guy, he leaned over the seat and like pointed his finger in my face, and he went, "No, you got up. You got up, and she had to put you down. You got up." And I was like, yes, I got up to call the staff because you told me to call the staff. That's what you told me to do. And yeah, she told me to sit down because she wanted to be the one to call the staff because it was her seat you were doing it to. And he was like, "No, you got up, you got up." And he just kept doing. So at some point I just put my hand up in his face and I said, "Leave me alone." And then after that, the male steward, he was like, okay, leave him alone. Don't do that. If there's any problems, just call us and we will settle it. Don't settle it amongst yourselves. And I'm like, "Of course, sir. Wouldn't dream of it." And yeah, like the young lady, she was like thanking me, of course. And I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I was about to make it my problem. Fuck that guy. No, like, oh, so he loses face because he thought he was right and he was wrong, and he had to fucking back down when the two male stewards came and weren't backing down after fucking 20 minutes of insisting that he wouldn't move his legs off from the young lady's chair. After 20 minutes of insisting, he finally has to back down in humiliating defeat. And then he has to find fucking anything he can blame on someone else because he doesn't want to be the only one at fault. So I don't know what he was trying, like, he was trying to say I was like standing up aggressively, like I wanted to fight him. No, not at all. Like he was just fucking searching for any little thing he could complain about me about because he was so humiliated. But like, no, it's nothing. So he just had to deal with that. It was a little awkward after that because like sitting on the same plane with him, but I was sitting in smug satisfaction. I felt great. I was like, this was fucking awesome. This was the best. Fuck that guy. I love that. I love that shit. We get to like, oh, we get to we get to have a story where a guy gets taught his lesson. I love that shit. Oh, please, more of that. Actually, it's okay. The story's not even over. So at some point, she actually stopped leaning back. She moved her seat back, and because she wanted to sleep on the table instead. Some people do that. They sleep on the table. I think it's hard to sleep in an airplane in general, right? But then, so a female steward. The female steward at the start, she came over and was like, "Are you okay? Is he causing you any trouble? Do you want to lean down?" And she's like, no, it's okay. Oh, must have heard that guy. Fuck that guy. That bitch. Fuck that bitch. Like, oh, yeah, he gets to hear when the female stewardess, she keeps coming and checking on her. Fuck that guy.